Good day. Today I'm going to be discussing Chapter 2 of Java, Classes and Objects. In this chapter we're going into object-oriented programming. So that's basically programming by creating objects and using those objects or instances to call other functions or methods from other classes and change the data in variables and all of that. So that's what we're going into today. So basically, in this activity, we're gonna create basically an object-oriented system. So basically two classes, and we're gonna declare specific instances in those classes, also variables and methods, and call those methods from another class. So in this activity over here, which says each of the Java files on this page represents a complete source file, your job is to play compiler and determine whether each of these files will compile. If they won't compile, how will you fix them? And if they do compile, what would be their output? So yeah, we're gonna have a look at why this code doesn't compile and how to fix it. So basically over here, I have here this created this class over here, firstly called episode, and what this class is doing is it first has this string variable, series name, and then this integer variable, episode number. So we're gonna use these variables, of course, within our methods and so on. So after that, I declare basically these methods. So this method skip intro, which is printing the string. I have this method skip to next, which basically prints the loading next episode string. Then I have this method play, which is basically playing the episode, and it calls those specific variables I created over here. But I also ask myself, how does the data get stored into these variables? And that's in our other class, so we'll see that. So the name of this class is episode. Then we have episode test drive, which is basically the main class, and this class has the main method, public static void main, and within the method create an instance over here, episode new episode. So this instance, this object is going to be used to basically call these methods over here, right? Because the main idea of this is to basically run this program so that those methods are called and these strings get printed on our console. So we use this object to do that. The name of this object is episode, but in order to declare an instance on object, we need to place the name of the class, which is the other class. Reason being is because we're going to access this class and use the variables and the methods in this class for our program. So episode is the name of the class, and then episode with lowercase is the name of this whole object. So over here we have we use the instance or the object. We use the object over here to basically change the data within the series name variable, and that series name variable is in our episode class over here. So we change the state of data for that. to night agent. So that's the value we're giving that variable. The value we're giving this variable, episode number, right, is 2. So this variable holds the value of 2. Then after that, we call the play method. This is the play method over here. The play method is gonna play the episode, right, for the specific series. So how does it do that? With this play method being called, this runs, right, because we're basically calling it with this object over here. When that runs, it shows playing episode, whatever the number of the episode is. In this case, it's 2. So it'll be playing episode 2 for whatever the series name is, and we declared that over here in this class, which is basically night agent. So it will print out this whole thing, playing episode 2 for night agent. What we had to fix basically is, at first there wasn't a play method, and if there isn't a play method, then what happens essentially is we cannot call the play method because it does not exist. So if we can't call this method, then basically the whole program won't work, because this class has the methods that basically run the program then when we call it. So if I run this, the method won't be called, and it gives me this error basically, that the play method doesn't exist. But when we basically declare that method over here, then we're able to call it and use that method, which prints playing episode 2 for night agent. So now that I added that there, I can run this this class or this main method, and after running this main method, because it is accessing that class using this object and giving the variables the necessary data they need, as well as calling these two methods, play and skip intro, what happens is we're able to see the result here, playing episode, and then also here the skip intro string being printed. So yeah, that's how that activity basically works. So that's basically a summary of chapter 2, so diving into object-oriented programming.